to the Solent Sports Complex here on the Solent University campus in Southampton, and today features the final round of L Lynch Trophy group games here in the Solent bubble, as we'll see the Solent Kestrels and Worthing Thunder renew their rivalry a bit later on. First though, Barking Abbey London Lions and the Essex Rebels face off, hoping to secure their first wins of the new season. Barking Abbey unable to play last week as their game against Worthing was called off, and Essex will hope to end their trophy campaign on a high following 2 losses. Once again, good afternoon. John Hobbs here alongside Jerry Merrill and Ryan Payne. Gents, good afternoon. And Jerry, I'll start with you. It's been an interesting L Lynch Trophy in all 3 bubbles, mind you, but we're getting used to what this new normal is looking like, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah, and I think, you know, in previous commentaries, Ryan and I've been talking about the bubble down here. It's just been absolutely great to actually have some live basketball, that, you know, A, for the players to, you know, start competing again and get back into the swing of things, but B, also for the fans who have been really starved of any live action, and to have Basketball England covering it on the YouTube channel is obviously a big plus, and hopefully get some good viewing figures today.
Absolutely, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Basketball England YouTube channel. Hopefully throughout the season we will have NBL live games and WNBL live games being streamed directly to YouTube. And Ryan, welcome to you as well. And as a former player yourself, just what do you think these players are going through right now with just being able to get out there and play? They've had a few weeks of this. What do you think's going through their minds?
I think it's a completely alien situation for everybody. No one's ever started a season this late. I can't remember ever having to start a season this late. So it's probably just a case of everyone trying to get their feet under them. Probably Barking Abbey's more prepared than anybody else because of the academy stuff starting earlier. But yeah, everyone's just trying to shake the rust off and make a good start to what is going to be a very strange season.
Absolutely. We've seen obviously multiple games, not just in the NBL, in the L Lynch Trophy, but in the BBL, the pre-season, as they've had games cancelled. So obviously very frustrating. We're getting used to what that new normal is going to be like. But for many players, Ryan, and many bloggers, we have really seen the NBL get more exposure over social media in recent weeks and also in recent months. Of course, in the Oakland bubble, Tozen and Justin on commentary have been getting great reviews there. So obviously the players are trying their hand at other things, and this is what the basketball community is all about, isn't it? Chipping in, and everyone is united right now as we fight towards COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone that I've spoken to within the basketball community wants to see basketball back. Wants to be involved. People want to come and watch basketball. Unfortunately, we've talked about that. It can't happen at the moment. But this is a great way for everyone to still stay in touch with what's going on in the different divisions that they're supporting and different teams they're supporting. And hopefully, when and if things do get back to normal, it just propels basketball into a completely different level that we've never seen before in this country that's needed. And we've talked about lots of times before.
Absolutely, and the first time since February, Jerry, that I've actually been here. The last game I witnessed with calling a Solent game was their epic BBL Trophy first leg semi-final win against the Bristol Flyers. It was
Absolutely.
A full house in that game. It was standing room only, and even the standing room was filling up, and it's just a stark contrast today. Absolutely no one here, just a couple of photographers and one media guy. It's really surreal, isn't it?
Yeah, you go back, you cast your mind back to February in that game. You know, unfortunate enough, I get a courtside view of every single match here, sort of doing the match day announcing and stuff, and the view from the table on the far side was absolutely incredible, and the noise as well was just phenomenal. It's an amazing atmosphere and an amazing evening, and you know, it's just a real shame. Everybody understands why, but it's just a real shame that, you know, we can't get the fans in here and things. But you know, as Ryan was saying, I think the opportunities, you know, all the new processes and protocols that have had to be put in place in order for the L Lynch Trophy to take place, hopefully will stand British basketball in a much better stead going forward.
Absolutely, and credit to everyone involved here at Solent University to get these games going on, and also into the other 3 bubbles as well. It's been very tough, especially for Loughborough and Myerscough. Obviously, games have been postponed left, right and centre over there, and the job they are doing to just try and get basketball going. I know Leicester Warriors have really done well to get Gateway College open for some games. It is really to be commended, and hopefully we'll get a good flowing season of NBL and WNBL action going towards the, as the season progresses. So here we go, final minutes. We're just about to start here. Essex Rebels and Barking Abbey London Lions. Both teams looking to secure their first wins of the season. Of course, the Essex Rebels lost last week to Solent, 117-61, and then previous to that against Worthing, 91-78. But there was a lot of plus points, Ryan, for the Essex Rebels in both those games, even though they were losing efforts.
Yeah, certainly. When the game that we watched last week, they were in touching distance, certainly in the first half, until Van Hanegem picked up his 3rd foul, and then the context of the game just changed. Kestrel started to get a lot of action right at the rim, and it just spiraled out of control for them in the second half. But they showed some promise. That certainly their perimeter play was serviceable in the first half in terms of playing what was the best team in the league last year. So it'd be interesting to see what they can put together today against a younger, less experienced team. Both of whom are going to be quite motivated to get a win today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see. Last week there were great strides made, great forward steps made by all the teams in terms of getting rid of the ring rustiness, etc. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, Barking obviously had week off last week. Whether they've been able to practice and maintain that momentum or not, we'll see. As all the players just take the knee out of respect of the Black Lives Matters.
Absolutely, and Basketball England obviously on the side of Black Lives Matter, and it is Black History Month as well, so on the social media channels, several players calling out their heroes, who meant the most to them, and obviously Solent Worthing later on. One player that I can remember from my early days of watching basketball, Alan Cunningham, who played for both Solent and Worthing as well. And here is Tom Child on the ball for the Rebels. Rebels in white, Barking Abbey in black. And Van Hanegem going all the way and banks it home. Kane Van Hanegem with his first field goal of the day.
Yeah, and Essex showing some early pressure up top. Jordan Gray getting an open look from the foul line, not able to get it to go.
And here is Jordan Gray inside to Van Hanegem. A lot of action will be through him today as he goes inside, tangled up there with Harrison, and it will be a jump ball or it will be a possession arrow. First time since March that I've actually been able to commentate, so I'm going to have a bit of ring rust as well today.
Everything seems to be going through Kane Van Hanegem at the moment for Essex.
Newman.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure Sam Newman will be looking to get his game going this week, having been held virtually locked out of the game by some stifling Kestrel's defence last week.
Absolutely, and Solent, Barking Abbey with the turnover there, and Barking Abbey with 24 turnovers in their game against Solent, the only game that they've played thus far in this L Lynch Trophy. Van Hanegem and Child will slow it down for the Rebels. Inside to Van Hanegem, but tipped, and Boardman Raffick comes up with it.
Yeah, Barking Abbey going back to that hard hedging pick and roll defense they played against Kestrels in the first game against them, and caused them some problems straight away.
Here is Newman off the rebound on the miss from Boardman Raffick. Newman, a former Hemel Storm player from last season. Van Hanegem turning, blocked by Abidou. Here comes Barking Abbey at the other end, and a foul has been called as Okinola was driving to the hoop.
Oh yeah, they're giving N line. Just wondering if he's going to get the score on the continuation. But I missed that bit.
Yeah, no, it didn't go in.
Critical.
Boardman, who had such an impressive game against Solent a couple weeks ago. Harrison at the elbow, rattles around and goes in. And it's 5-4 early doors here at the Solent bubble. Gray. Here is Winter going inside, blocked again, this time by Eze. Van Hanegem on the follow, misses the layup. It's a scramble inside, and here comes Eze. It's 1-on-3 at the moment. And I
Good
think that'll be,
defence by Tom Child.
I think that'll be a travel, and it is. Good defence, as you said, by Tom Child. Sam Newman on the ball for the Rebels. Of course, newly promoted into Division 1 this season. Nice passing there as Winter driving inside. Rebels not having much luck going inside. Some good defense early on by the BA London Lions.
Yeah, Essex have made some nice moves to the basket, but Lions just really clogging up the paint and not letting them clean looks at the hoop.
Boardman looking to change that, blocked by Van Hanegem. Already a fourth block, 4 blocks in this contest thus far, and a travel inside. Essex lead 5-2, 6:43 remaining. Of course, after this game, Solent and Worthing renewing their infamous rivalry here in the Solent bubble. Of course, Worthing, like the Lions, have only played 1 game in this bubble thus far. 3 on the way from Child, banks it home. Tom Child. And as I say, the bank is usually open on a Sunday when basketball is involved. Inside goes Abidou, but his layup is no good. And here comes Newman on the break, and Newman will be going to the foul line.
That was a great outlet pass from middle of the court, found Sam Newman wide open, misfooted. One of the Abbey players, I didn't see which one, cleared it open for a fast break layup.
And Sam Newman going to the line. Sam Newman, there's several Essex Rebels players, product of the Coppleston High School program over in Ipswich. Sam Newman, one of those players, played last season for the Hemel Storm, a really impressive point guard, averaging 11 points a game last season. Had a great outing here, actually, when Hemel and Solent met at the sports complex in December. That was on NBL Live.
Yeah, no, and that was probably the closest I saw Kestrels to getting beat last year by a Division 1 team. They played a great game against Kestrels at this venue, and it went down to the wire.
It did, yeah, absolutely. Great hustle there by Sam Newman. But
yeah, both sides really seem to have brought the intensity to a different level this morning so far in this first fixture.
Absolutely. As Flynn Boardman Raffit will take the ball. I think there's a little question as to whose ball it actually is. But
That's an interesting call. Looked like Sam Newman
might have been out of bounds already.
Yeah, could be.
Again, scramble.
Really strong on the offensive boards.
Scramble under the basket. Harrison and Eze here with the ball. Boardman puts up a 3, knocks it down. Flynn Boardman Raffit, a Great Britain junior, with his first 3 of the day.
Yeah, and the Barking players up off the bench on their feet applauding that one.
Gray putting the moves on.
Jace Harrison getting the deflection.
Here is Eze. And Harrison thought about the 3, instead inside to Abidou it goes. Abidou finds room. A Kola for no points there. It was a 3-point attempt. Child going inside. Again, good defense from Barking Abbey. That's a great bit of defense, and we've seen that throughout this first quarter, Ryan, as they go inside. Boardman loses it, but there will be a foul, I think, there, as Boardman did lose the ball but got bumped.
Yeah, the referees up until that point have let some contact go in favour of some physical defence, but that one just a little bit too much, too
just
far.
A little bit. And Barking Abbey ball trailing 9-5, 4:58 remaining in this first quarter. It's great to see some comments as well on the YouTube channel. Keep them coming as we will look to have a chat and be as interactive as we can throughout this day of basketball here in Solent. Boardman. Rafik backing up his man inside. And on the follow, Uma still has it. Uma will go inside, banks it home and one. Beautiful play from Sim Uma, who's just come off the bench to replace Abidou, and he'll go to the line for one. Tough play there, Ryan.
Yeah, Lions very active on the offensive glass there. Rebels struggling to secure it after a miss, and we've talked about it before. When you give up those easy opportunities on the rebounds, you tend to pick up fouls in the process as well.
And Jerry and Ryan battling over whose mic is who today as well. There's only two. We've only got two microphones here, but I've stolen one and I'm keeping mine. Tom Child has the ball.
Chem Uma made a real good impression coming off the bench in the first game that they played, and he was tough all game long and kind of brought a real edge to them they previously hadn't had until he got into the game. So good to see him competing and contesting offensively on the boards.
Beautiful move by Boardman Raffet, putting the moves on Dan Morton, who's into the game for the first time for the Rebels, number 11. And that's 5 points for Boardman, and an offensive foul on Van Hanegem, as the Dutchman was just showing a bit too much physicality in the paint.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration as well coming out. I think, I'm not sure if that's to do with physical fouls not being called and the refs letting them play to start off with, and now so having slightly changed. As the game's become more physical, I guess the referees have had to adjust and start to make some calls. But certainly Van Hanegem not impressed at being called for that offensive foul.
Absolutely, and that's Van Hanegem's second foul, so he's coming out of the game. And Ethan Price, a former Ipswich man, comes in number 2. And Ethan Price, Jerry, we were actually talking about this the other day. Really impressive in the Patrons Cup in 2019 when he was an Ipswich player. Played in that final against the Westminster Warriors. And in the first half was absolutely outstanding. Fell off a bit in the second half, but what a great talent Ethan Price is.
Absolutely, having seen him play some EABL ball as well, he's sort of dominant at that level, and we're really looking, Ryan and I were really looking forward to seeing him play against Kestrels, but of course that experience kind of sort of overpowered him a little bit. I think perhaps overwhelmed him a little bit in that game. So looking forward to seeing what he can do today in this matchup.
Absolutely, a former GB under-18 player, Ethan Price, number 2. As Ize on the ball, here's Boardman Raffet. Finds some room, step back 3 is good. That's his second 3 of the day. And timeout has been called by Essex coach Ross Norfolk. He's seen enough. And a fantastic start here from the BA London Lions, leading 13-9 with 3:45 remaining.
Yeah, and Boardman Raffet really playing with a lot of confidence, stepped back into that shot and knew it was going in the second it left his hands, and you can see the way that he stalked over to the timeout. He's ready to carry it on.
Absolutely, 2 for 4 from 3-point land. Here's Boardman Raffet in this first quarter. And we spoke about a lot of things that have happened over this the course of the last few months. Of course, March was the final game that was played before the coronavirus hit. We're now here under much different circumstances. And for you two, you've both actually been here throughout this bubble, and you've witnessed the games. Are you now used to what this new normal is going to be like?
I don't think anybody's used to how this this new normal is going to be like.
It's strange.
Everyone's desperate for it to get back to the old normal, I think. But you know, no one knows when or if that's going to happen. So you know, we're just appreciating the fact that we have basketball back and we're enjoying some competition.
Absolutely. Just coming back, just arriving here today, I was subject to a temperature check. I had to fill in a form if I had any symptoms over the last 7 days. It was pretty something, I guess, but I suppose we've got to get used to that for a while as Winter goes to the line. Rory Winter, excuse me, will go to the line for 2 shots.
Viber just being called for the push in the back there. Yeah, I you know, essential things, aren't they? All of the tests and all of the checks and things like that. And I'm just really grateful that you know, I know the other bubbles have had issues with people out, you know, catching the virus or showing symptoms or what have you, and games being postponed and things. But certainly, you know, all of the processes and protocols and things that have been put in place here at Solent University seem to be working. And I for one, I'm certainly grateful for the stringentness of them.
Absolutely. That's Caleb Viber's first foul, by the way, of the day. Caleb Viber, who didn't actually feature in the opening Barking Abbey game a couple of weeks ago against Solent, here today.
I've been really impressed with how well Barking Abbey have dealt with, you know, how poised they've been with this pressure that Essex have put on them. They, you know, they haven't really turned the ball over or looked like it. They've got themselves into a half-court offense. That was nearly tipped back in.
Absolutely.
Athletic play there.
It was a good layup attempt there by Harrison. Bournemouth was open for the 3, instead decides to drive into the teeth of the Essex defence, but no good. And Barking Abbey with another offensive rebound, and they will continue play. Here's Eze going all the way again, kicks it out. 3-pointer on the way is good.
Yeah, Viber looking really active on the offensive boards, and managing to get himself open there for the 3, which he absolutely drained, no problem at all. He looks to be a good prospect.
Morton. And Winter slips, and it will be a Barking Abbey ball, as Rory Winter just slipped on the surface there. But there was no contact, he just slipped on the ball, and it will be a Barking Abbey possession.
The lad just about coming onto the floor just to mop the floor, Elliot Goddard, Basketball England Young Volunteer of the Year. Worth a mention, very fortunate to have Elliot here at the club.
Absolutely, and that's something that we really like about the Kestrels, is the community feel of the club and how everyone chips in to get involved. And obviously Elliot, the Volunteer of the Year, is nice ball movement there. That is brilliant basketball. Unfortunate with the finish there from Samson. And
Barking Abbey played some great basketball there. Really unfortunate they didn't come away with the score. Whoever made that pass will probably be a little bit frustrated they didn't come away with the assist.
Harrison on the ball for Barking Abbey, looking for options. Corner jumper is no good.
Much needed defensive rebound there by Rebels after a few possessions of not being able to secure one.
Yassin Naji into the game for the first time with that rebound, and Naji, a small forward, a 6'8" small forward from France, getting the rebound there, his first of the day. .203 remaining in this first quarter. Winter looking for options and finds it in Ethan Price, who goes all the way, and he's going to go to the foul line as well for 2. I think that's Harrison's second foul, if I'm not mistaken. It is, yep.
Yeah, and he stepped across and looked in to take the charge, but wasn't quite in position. Little bump across the hips, and that's Price was in his 2 steps, 2 shots.
And Ethan Price has, as mentioned, a Great Britain under-18 international formerly. and makes the first free throw. And it will be interesting, Jerry, and you highlighted this, how he'll make the step up into Division 1, deservedly playing in this league with the Rebels, but a fantastic prospect from the Coppleston High School, and played so well for Ipswich, was one of the leading players for that Ipswich team over many years. As nice ball movement there in transition, and it will stay a Barking Abbey possession.
Just talking about Coppleston, it was interesting watching the women's results yesterday and watching Ipswich and some of the statistics coming out of that game. Esther Little, 21 points and 22 rebounds.
Yeah, I read that.
Harriet Wellham, 37 points and 10 rebounds.
Of course, Harriet Wellham, the MVP of last season in the WNBL, as they defeated the BA London Lions in their fixture. Of course, it's great to have the WNBL back as well, and we'll be hoping to stream some games from that league this season too.
Yeah, Flyers TV yesterday broadcasting Bristol Flyers and St Kestrel's women in WNBL Div 1. Kestrel's coming away with the win eventually in what was a hard-fought and at sometimes feisty contest.
Just a little bit, wasn't it? Newman, nice pass inside, and Price finishes. Great look there from Sam Newman.
It's been a great couple of possessions for Price, because he took the charge on the last play, then cut the baseline and got a nice look from Newman for the two.
Viber, who's been really energetic since coming off the bench. Boardman Raffet, another three on the way, shot clock winding down. And Barking Abbey will, in fact, no, it won't. It'll be an Essex possession. The ball was already out of bounds. So I think the referees might have a quick word about that, as Vernon Easy will look to check back in for Barking Abbey, and Flynn Boardman Raffet will take a quick breather with 1:12 remaining in the first. Again, keep the comments coming on the YouTube channel. It's great to see so many people watching at the moment. Viber puts up a three. Viber connects from downtown. And the Lions lead 19-15 as we enter the final minute of this first quarter. Price stolen there by Okanola, who nearly travelled with it. And Viber will hold it here. Oh, nice play inside,
nice
and one!
Nice play from Abbey, good patience, good movement off the ball.
Uma with the pass, and the finish by Ise, who now moves on to 4 points.
Yeah, and Barking Abbey had made a couple of cuts there that was semi-open, decided not to make the passes, and then got a wide open one just from that people movement. Great play, and one.
And Ise connects, another former Ipswich player connects on the free throw, and the Lions now, who trailed early on, 14-0 run to respond, now lead 22-15 as we enter the final few seconds of this first quarter. Newman looking for options, and it was a tough pass, and again Okanola with the steal. That's his second steal in quick succession.
Pass never really on there. Okanola having good defensive position on his man.
And on the other end,
for the three, no good.
No, just short there, and Winter will bring it up. Final 10 seconds of this first quarter. A great first quarter for the Barking Abbey. Newman puts up a long three and connects.
Yeah, clock running down.
And that'll end the first quarter here at the Solent Sports Complex. The BA London Lions lead 22-18. And Jerry, what's impressed you about this first quarter?
Well, I think the energy from both teams has been really, really good. Both teams coming fast out the blocks with intensity, looking to play their own game, enforce their own will onto the opposition. Little bit scrappy at times, but again, it's pre-season. We're still getting the rustiness out. Coaches are experimenting with their lineups and their matchups, etc., and who they're getting on the floor at any one time. It's great to see Ethan Price finding his feet, getting into the game consecutive times at the offensive end, and also making big defensive contributions as well. So looking forward to seeing more from him going forward. For BA Lions, Flynn Boardman Raffet again, sort of for me being the key man, but great energy. Viber Caleb Viber bringing great energy off the bench there towards the end of the quarter.
Absolutely, and Ryan, we speak about turnovers. Obviously, the turnover count very high across this L Lynch Trophy, understandably so. 6-5 in the turnover count. You know, both coaches obviously will want to keep that down as much as they can going into the second quarter.
So we've talked about it in previous weeks. It's certainly these sort of younger, less experienced teams. The coaches are going to want to ensure that their guys get a quality shot every time down, and not just pass it up and give it to the other team. I think in terms of the first quarter, I think Lions did a really good job in terms of their interior defence. And then it also translated to a lot of rebounding opportunities for him at the other end, really outworking Essex on the boards. And you can see, I think, there's 16-7 rebounding advantage in the first quarter, and that's been, for me, the difference in the game so far.
Absolutely, and Barking Abbey's strength under the basket, Essex very rarely getting points inside due to that good defence, but Essex on the flip side, 3 for 3 from downtown in that first quarter. They were 7 for 21 against Solent. In fact, they were the only team, Jerry, that actually shot over 50% in any of the L Lynch Trophy games in the first round, in the first half. So there's an interesting statistic for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of statistics flying around, aren't there?
And inside was Uma, and he'll go to the line for 2 shots. And he shot an impressive 50% in their opening game against Solent. Of course, they didn't play against Worthing as I think it was several members of the Barking Abbey school, nothing related to the players, tested positive for COVID, so they had to go into isolation via the test and trace.
Yeah, Caleb Viber starting the second quarter off the way he finished the first, with that energy, the offensive ends and the hard work. Your interesting comment about the turnovers, John, saying about 27 turnovers in one of the earlier games, and when Solent played last week, one of the key factors in the defeat of Essex was 32 turnovers.
Absolutely, and obviously Solent, they had 43 points in that third quarter as well of that game against Essex. But there were signs. Essex showed glimpses of promise that we will no doubt see throughout the season. This is, we've got to understand that this is pre-season after all, and there will be some rust from all the teams playing in this trophy, no doubt about it.
Absolutely, and they're a new unit. They've got a lot of new people coming in, promoted last year, so they're going to be finding their feet, as a team, not just individuals trying to find their way.
Absolutely. BA lead 22-18 in the early stages of this second quarter. Nice pass inside, and Uma no good with his floater. Rory Winter nearly travelled with it, but he still has possession. Looking for options, he picks up his dribble. Price looking to go to work inside, bumps his man, and it's an offensive foul called on Ethan Price. That's his first foul of the day.
Yeah, it was drop the shoulder on the pivot and knock the defensive player backwards. Easy call for the official.
Of course, Ryan, you suffered a lot of that in your time as a player, didn't you? So we'll stop talking about that for the moment.
My nose was right at elbow level, so I've got a misshapen nose to prove it.
Abadou kicks it out for 3. Samson is long, and Sam Newman gets the rebound, but it goes to Winter, and Sam Newman will slow it down, but instead go inside and throw it down. Sam Newman with the hops.
A little bit out of control there, probably the first out of control possession we've seen from Barking Abbey.
But Sam Newman at the other end, I didn't even know he had that in him. Just driving to the hoop, going baseline,
Definitely
and just
came out of nowhere.
Exactly, and exploding with the one-hand flush. And with that dunk, Essex now cut the gap to 2 in the early stages of this second quarter. Winter. Of course, Winter and Sam Newman sharing the ball a lot at the point guard position. Here is Price. The 2 former Ipswich men were connecting there, but I think a foul has been called.
Yeah, a bit of a hand check by Adado on the hedge out on the pick and roll, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Boardman Raffett's coming back into the game after a little bit of a change in momentum in the game there.
Absolutely. Caleb Viber will be taking a seat, and one thing we will see throughout the season as Viber takes a seat is as soon as you come off the court, sanitize your hands, get ready for when you next come on. As Sam Newman going inside, step back jumper, and that's good. Sam Newman showing some form in this second quarter.
Yeah, Sam Newman starting to heat up, and I think this is what Essex will be hoping for. That's what they'll be looking for him to bring. Is that experience? Still very young, but seemingly he's been around for a long time.
Absolutely, and Sean Sampson responding with the corner three. He likes that corner three, does Sampson, and a turnover there. Ethan Price with a wild pass, and here is Eze going to the hoop, kicks it out to Adodo, and Flynn Boardman Raffett will slow it down. Sampson from the other corner, and he's good on his three. Back-to-back threes for Sean Sampson.
You could tell as soon as he caught the ball, he was letting that one go. Bit of a heat check. They need to get find him wherever he's at on the court at the moment. Don't let him go three in a row.
Sean Sampson, who struggled against Solent, got himself into a lot of foul trouble actually in his minutes there, really repaying the faith that Coach James Veer has in him with back-to-back threes, as Ethan Price will take a seat. And Ethan Price really struggling to find any sort of rhythm, and be capable of the player he is.
Yeah, he certainly made a poor decision on the last one with the turnover, throwing it across court against pressure.
And
last move again by
absolutely, Sam Newman really coming into his own. At the moment, he has 12 points, and another turnover. Newman going all the way again, but his layup no good that time. In fact, check that. Newman has 10 points in this game, as inside goes Abadeo, and no good with his layup attempt. And here is Morton on the ball for the Rebels. You can tell the pace is just quickening up a little bit here as Van Hanegem. Poor pass really from Newman. And here come Barking in transition.
Yeah, no coincidence, I don't think, that as the pace has quickened up, the game's become a little bit more ragged. Again, as the season progresses, teams have become more familiar with one another and their offenses, the set moves and the instinctive moves, and instinctively know where one another are going to be. But
absolutely, Eze for three. Eze long, but brilliant rebound there from Abadeo on the follow. Great move, and Abadeo banks it in on the follow.
Yeah, great hustle on the offensive boards. Strong move, getting over his man, having the hops to go straight back up and making the two.
Sam Newman looking for Dan Morton, but it finds a Barking Abbey foot, and Tom Child will come back in to the game, and Rory Winter will take a seat.
And Jace Harrison checking in for Barking Abbey, with Okanola going to the bench for a blow.
Absolutely, and Jordan Gray as well into the game for the Rebels, and he is on the ball now. Child. There's a shot clock down to 5 here. Van Hanegem has it inside. Van Hanegem scores. And Van Hanegem now with 4 points for the afternoon. Boardman Raffett turns his man, goes inside, and I think he almost got caught in two minds as to what to do when he was close to the basket.
Didn't know which hand to go with.
Absolutely.
Whether it was a right or left. He got caught in the middle, but it was an excellent crossover to get himself wide open.
Absolutely, and then got to the hoop and just kind of struggled with what he wanted to do as Child with the ball. And here's Gray. Child thought about the three, instead kicks it to Van Hanegem. Van Hanegem blocked by Eze. There'll be a whistle there. And 2 free throws coming.
And Lions are really clogging up the paint anytime Van Hanegem catches it in there. He's been caught out a couple of times, blocked, forced into tough shots. Has made it really difficult for him. He's such a big target in there for Essex. You can tell the game plan from Coach Veer is to make sure he doesn't get any clean looks inside.
Absolutely. Van Hanegem had a good shooting performance against Solent last week. He was 5 for 6 from the field, the man from Amsterdam. But of course, the Essex Rebels were on the losing end of that game. 5:06 remaining in the second quarter, and it's a relatively close game. Lions lead 30-26, and following this game, we will be having the Solent Kestrels and the Worthing Thunder renewing their battle. And of course, they've had many classics over the last few years since Solent have come up from Division 2, and of course the BBL Trophy quarter-final is one that stands out, Jerry, as a brilliant contest at the Worthing Leisure Centre.
Absolutely. It's almost as if it was meant to be, wasn't it, that Worthing were going to beat Manchester, and you know that Kestrels are going to end up meeting them in that fixture. And you know, again, it's always great travelling down to Worthing. It's always a packed house. There's always an amazing atmosphere, and it's invariably a close game as well. So you know, everything in, and again, it didn't disappoint. Great game. From a personal point of view, the right team came out on top. There'll be a lot of people who disagree with me.
Let's call it down the middle at least. I was just happy I got to witness a great game at the Worthing Leisure Centre. Brendan Okoronkwo, of course, playing against his former club, and will again today, and Zaire Taylor, Alex Awumi having a great battle, and of course Cameron Hildreth coming alive in that fourth quarter. And we've been talking about Cameron Hildreth quite a lot off camera. He'll be in action today as Van Hanegem misses both free throws.
Yeah, and again, you know, this L Lynch Trophy, you know, not only is it a good pre-season tournament, what a great showcase for all of these young players that are coming through. You know, today we've got Ethan Price, Cameron Hildreth, Rory Winter. You know, that many of the players on the Abbey team are at the academy at Barking Abbey. Just a great showcase, a great opportunity for them to show their talents off to the wider public through the YouTube channel.
Absolutely, and it's testament to the Elite Academy Basketball League and the Academy Basketball Leagues that showcase these fantastic youngsters, really are the stars of tomorrow. And obviously Cameron Hildreth making huge news nationally, becoming a product now of committing to Wake Forest, which will be really exciting to see as Bournemouth Raffet finds Harrison. Step back three for Harrison, who's feeling it from downtown, and he connects.
Yeah, big basket there. And going back to Cameron Hildreth, we're talking about a player that plays a lot off confidence, and to sign with a big-time program like that in the States, it'll be an interesting thing to see what he does this season, because it will certainly boost his confidence as to, you know, being one of the first British players to go to a major, go straight to a major, you know, NCAA Division 1.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Ize on the pull-up, no good. Big rebound again there by Abidou, and he's no good, but on the follow, I think, was Ize.
Funny, isn't it? We go back different generations, and you know, I recall Steve Bucknell going to North Carolina, being the big, you know, being the big name back then.
Absolutely, yes.
But yeah, certainly the modern generation, yeah, great to see Cameron.
Of course, Steve Bucknell's suited up for the Los Angeles Lakers on the sides of Magic Johnson and co.
Yeah, so who knows what the future holds for Cam then?
Absolutely. Another turnover by Barking Abbey as Morton comes up with it, or excuse me, Nagy comes up with it as Tom Child inside to Van Hanegem. Good recovery there by Harrison. Knocks it out of bounds.
Sean Sampson getting his hand caught in the cookie jar there. Just grabbing Van Hanegem's arm as he went up for the shot.
35-26, Barking Abbey with the lead, and Van Hanegem to the line again for the Rebels. Very strange rotation, Ryan, on Van Hanegem's free throws. He's 0 for 3 from the foul line right now.
Yeah, it almost looked like he put front spin on that one. Yeah, the action looks okay. The wrist snap is all right, but you know, the rotation just very strange.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. But then again, I was never a good free throw shooter in my heyday of well, playing at the park, really. Though I've not really played any club basketball, so I can't really say anything. Ize will double dribble with it. 2:49 left in this first half, and it's, it's been a fairly even first half statistically, but obviously the BA London Lions leading by 9 right now, edging in front, and that's due to their hustle inside.
Yeah, and it's been shown in the rebounding. I believe just getting those extra possessions at the offensive end has really put a pressure on Essex, and gotten literally everyone on their team apart from 2 have picked up a foul already. They're really putting a lot of pressure on them on that offensive glass.
A lot of emphasis on the defence as well, especially inside for Barking Abbey. Essex really struggling to get any points inside.
Yeah,
that's an offensive foul. Just talking about that good defence inside again. And Okinola taking the charge. And that'll be the first foul on Andre Laviner, who's into the game for the first time.
And it's interesting just talking about the rebounds. BA London Lions out rebounding Essex 30-14 at the moment. So both ends of the floor, that energy at the offensive end, and Ryan, as you were saying about clogging up the lane defensively, getting people in position.
For me, it starts with their switching on any screen in action. They've always got a man directly between the offensive player and the basket. It makes it very difficult decision making and getting any passes through. They've done a really good job on aggressive hedges. I've been really impressed with their defensive effort so far this game.
Brilliant steal there from Eze off the missed three-pointer. Here's Boardman Raffet. And his pass just a little wayward, looking for Okinola, and it'll go out of bounds. I think Barking Abbey will keep possession with 1:51 remaining, and a timeout has been called, I think, by Coach James Veer. In fact, it is, yes. 1:51 remaining in this second quarter, and just briefly touched on it earlier, but obviously players now, whenever they come onto the court, they leave the court, they're always washing their hands, sanitizing their hands. And we've just seen it a few times as well during timeouts where we get different balls put into play. It's cleaned, and then another ball comes into play. We'll be seeing a lot of that. Just a few of the minor changes we'll be seeing throughout the season.
Yeah, and I haven't yet spoken to any of the players about that, because how does that impact your passing, your ball handling, your shooting? With ultimately they're going to try and keep the balls as consistent as they can, but it's going to have an impact on your consistency and your touch with the basketball. It's interesting.
Absolutely.
Prior to every game, the referee will generally ask the team captain which ball they want to use. It's going to be a different ball every few possessions. It's quite a strange situation, but necessary, of course, with so many people touching that same basketball. But it's interesting.
But now a different ball will be used in this final 1:51, of course. Unless another timeout is called in that time. Barking Abbey will have possession. And here is Boardman Raffet. Okinola puts up a 3, short. Van Hanegem lost the ball, but it comes up to Norton. Here is Tom Child for 3, and his effort is short. It's a scramble under the basket, and Boardman Raffet comes up with it. Easy. Going inside, nice move, and he'll go to the line for 2 shots. Attacking the basket hard, Vernon Eze, a former Ipswich man who actually played for Barking Abbey Jerry, in that Adidas that EuroLeague Next Generation tournament in Kaunas.
Yeah, again, another high quality talent coming out of an EABL college. The whole EABL structure really has done wonders, I think, for the development of basketball in this country, giving another route, so it's not just club basketball, but also, in the educational establishments as well, being, getting more and more recognition. It would just be nice, it would be nice to see basketball generally getting the recognition that it deserves. I think it's the, second or third most played sport in this country.
Absolutely. Yes.
And with this young talent, you kind of wonder that, with the correct support, etc., that how far could they go?
Gray puts up a 3, and Gray knocks down the 3. That's his first 3 of the day. Jordan Gray. Essex cut it to 8. Here is Eze going strong to the basket, too strong. Another rebound from Umar, and he'll tip. No, he won't tip it. That was Flynn Boardman-Raffett. Final minute of this second quarter. And Child, a whistle has gone. I think a foul has been called. And it's on Flynn Boardman-Raffett. Yeah.
Just grabbing the player cutting baseline there as he went past.
I'm pretty sure that was an off-ball foul there as well.
Yeah.
As Boardman-Raffett will take a seat. That's his second foul of the afternoon. Child. Here's Gray. Kicks it out. And Essex, good passing, but that was a poor pass there. Shot clock winding down to 6. Gray's, or there's a long three there from Laviner. And it's out of bounds. Andre Laviner into the game with the missed 3.
Yassine Naji still berating himself for the pass that led to the breakdown in the offense there. Nearly coming up with a steal though. Good hustle getting back.
That was by Jordan Gray. That was Jordan Gray. It will stay a Barking Abbey possession with 21.7 seconds left in this first half. As we continue our coverage of the L Lynch Trophy here in the Solent bubble. 2 games to whet the appetite today as Van Hanegem with the rebound off the miss from Viber. Final seconds, shot clock switched off as Gray comes up court for the Rebels. And Gray is fouled. I think that was on Eze. In fact, no, it wasn't.
Caleb Viber.
Yeah, it was on Caleb Viber, who was clocking in behind. And Jordan Gray will go to the line. Had 10 points against Solent, 4 for 6 from the foul line in that game. Misses his first free throw of the day. And misses them both, but Child comes up with the loose ball. Child stripped by Eze. Final seconds of the second half, of the first half, excuse me, and Eze's Hail Mary is short, and that ends the first half here at the Solent Sports Complex inside the Solent bubble. And the BA London Lions lead 37-29. A well-balanced scoring effort from the BA London Lions, led by Flynn Boardman-Raffett, who has 8 points. Vernon Eze with 7. Sam Newman leading all scorers for Essex with 10 points in what has been a, at times, chaotic, but a good first half of action there, Jerry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both teams, although 8-point game, that could still go either way. Game's a long way from over. Both teams have been really, really competitive. Just trying to get into their rhythm. It seems, both sides. We pointed out about the rebounds, and Flynn Boardman-Raffett having another good all-round game. 8 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. So he's carrying on his contribution to the Barking Abbey cause. Who else is standing out here? Sam Newman, also having a good game. 10 points, 2 assists.
And anything, Ryan, that stands out for you in that first half? I know I saw you glancing at the statistics as well.
For me, I just think that both coaches are going to be a little bit disappointed with how poor some of the execution was. We saw some great basketball from Barking Abbey at times in the first half, but there was a lot of deflections, a lot of turnovers, just not clean possessions for either team. And I think they'll both look to tidy that up, and whoever does the best job of it will stand in the best position to win the game.
Absolutely. Well, it's half-time here. 13 minutes roughly until we start the third quarter. Of course, 3 o'clock. Tip-off Solent Kestrel's Worthing Thunder will be the second game of the day. But until then, we'll be back in just a few minutes' time.
Who's your biggest inspiration?
I'm here filming the Solent Student Union.
BBC South Today's Tony Husband! The Solent Sports Complex on site at Solent University, and it's just about time to start. Well, about 3 minutes to the start of the third quarter here, and the BA London Lions lead 37-29 over the Essex Rebels. And of course, following the conclusion of this game, we'll have the Solent Kestrels and the Worthing Thunder, which is due to tip off at 3 o'clock. Jerry Merrill and Ryan Payne alongside me, John Hobbs, here today. And just looking at the warm-ups to start the third quarter, and obviously we saw it with the knee being taken. Ryan, the Essex Rebels showing their support for equality in this world, where wearing the Black Lives Matter warm-up jerseys. And equality is something we all want, we all we all need in this world, as we are united, not divided, and we want to stamp out racism.
Yeah, certainly in basketball in this country is something that everyone wants to support. We've seen some things in recent months that are disturbing, not just in the States, which has obviously been quite horrifying for some people, but in this country as well. And these people have a voice and it needs to be heard, and we're in full support of it.
Absolutely. Basketball, Jerry, one of the most diverse sports in this country and the world over, as a matter of fact. So it's great that Basketball England's showing that initiative, and throughout Black History Month as well, some of the players highlighting their favourite role models. Of course, Ishmael Fontaine of the Worthing Thunder recently highlighting one of his idols growing up was the great Ronnie Baker. And it's great to see so many players, and not just Ishmael Fontaine, but Brendan Okoronkwo as well, really outspoken about this subject. And definitely, Basketball England's response has been fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Brendan's been on it and all over social media right from, when everything started to really come to a head globally, I guess, in America. It's one step too far. Finally, people, the public starting to take note and going about things the right way. Nobody wants or thinks, I don't think, that violence is the way to resolve violence. It needs to be peaceful people movement, and Brendan certainly doing his bit on the back of social media and getting his views and opinions out there.
Absolutely, and I've seen as well. My little one goes to a school at the moment where they're doing projects on Black Lives Matter and what it means to them. Lots of activity is happening in schools right now, and of course throughout the Basketball England, Essex Rebels, as we've seen, with Black Lives Matter warm-up jerseys. Worthing Thunder will be debuting Black Lives Matter jerseys as well, sporadically throughout the season. Of course, Solent Kestrels, with what you two are wearing, actually,
yep,
as you can see on screen, united, not divided. Warm-up jerseys as we continue the push for equality in this world, and it's great to see. And of course, get your comments in on Basketball England's social media channels. Who is your
nice
hero during Black History Month? As we start the third quarter here, and Van Haneghan will go to the line for two.
If we take it in a sporting context, I was fortunate enough to have played with the likes of Tony Watson. Carl Tatham used to come into our school. He kind of got the juices flowing in terms of basketball. Really, hugely inspirational guy. Certainly one of my role models. Great guy with it, and just sort of being around guys like Tony Watson, Roy Lewis, T.J. Robinson at that time on that squad. All really, really good people and good role models as well.
Absolutely. Of course, the great Alan Cunningham, Colin Irish were definitely role models of mine growing up. I remember when I first started playing basketball and got into basketball, Colin Irish would come into our primary school and teach us and coach us basketball when we very first started. My goodness me, that was a long, long, long time ago now. But great to see. But yeah, who was your idol growing up during Black History Month? Obviously, post it on the Facebook social media channels. They're all open, all available for you to use. And Flynn Boardman, Raffit with his first three of the third quarter, getting us off the mark. And the Lions now lead 42-29. Newman straight away for three, doesn't even hit the rim. Van Haneghan inside, and his hook is short.
Yeah, not quite getting it off the fingers there, sort of, not getting that touch to have the control. Interesting, Coach Ross Norfolk over half-time really laying into the Essex Rebels guys in an effort to get them to up their game, and doesn't seem to have had the desired effect so far.
Still in the very early stages of this third quarter, but already the BA London Lions stamping their authority on matters. They lead by 13.
Another textbook press break there from Barking Abbey could lead to a wide open three. Rebels playing with fire here.
Rebels, another risky pass
Another
there.
steal.
Yeah, it was a risky pass there from Tom Child. Winter couldn't get hold of it. Harrison, Ise puts up a 3. And Child with the rebound. And for the Rebels, it might just be a case of getting to your offense a bit quicker here at the moment. It's a bit ragged play in this early stages of the third quarter. Child finds some room. Nice passing. Newman for 3. Newman is long. And Okinola with the rebound.
It was a great extra pass, but it's still a great contest by Barking Abbey. Could be a charge here.
No, blocking foul is called. Yeah, Flynn Borman just about going for the Euro step, but ran into Sam Newman from the side. That is Newman's second foul of the game.
Don't even quite believe the call.
Yeah, well, Boardman Raffet did a great job on the last step of going laterally rather than straight forward. Didn't collide with him straight on. It's probably the right call. Didn't catch him square on. Hit him on the almost the shoulder.
Well outside the circle as well.
Yeah.
So.
But that's one of those really difficult calls for a referee to make in the at the speed of the game's being played at. But I think they probably got the right one on that call.
And Lions shooting 50% from the foul line following that miss, and Essex shooting 35% from the free throw line. So both teams struggling from the charity stripe here, as Gray putting the moves on Boardman, kicks it out. Winter, short 2 is good.
And that's what Essex has got to do. When they collapse the defense in and get 2 or 3 people on the basketball in the paint, they've got to kick it out and knock shots down.
Absolutely. 3-on-2 break there, but Van Hanegen's shot was blocked by Abadou. And I think it will stay a Essex possession here.
And it just really looked like, the lane opened up for Van Hanegen, but he had a wide open Sam Newman on the wing. He drew the defender to him. We're just talking about it. He needed to kick the ball out, wide open 3, and then reposition for the offensive rebound. It's just that last decision to the shot that's been lacking with Essex so far.
Nice passing around the perimeter. Newman for 3 is good. That's Sam Newman's third 3 of the day.
Yeah, and difference there. Sam Newman, the pass in exactly the right spot in the pocket. He could catch it, step into the shot, into his rhythm, and absolutely drained it.
And in response, Adaidu for 3. Rory Winter. Gray with a slight mismatch here speed-wise on Flynn Boardman. Child rattles in a 3. Both teams finding their rhythm from downtown in this third quarter.
Yeah, Veron Easy contesting the shot, but Tom Child having the composure to still knock it down.
Here is Easy on the ball. Going inside, Child stripped it off him, but the referee thought he got more than just the ball.
Yeah, Easy just managing to turn the corner there, get his shoulders ahead of Tom Child.
And Vernon Easy against Solent, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in their opening day game.
Yeah, he's someone who's impressed me every time I've seen him play last couple of seasons. He's always competitive. He doesn't back down.
Of course, during that EuroLeague Adidas Next Generation tournament, a lot of the focus was on Cameron Hildreth offensively, but Vernon Ise really stood out for me at both ends of the floor. A really talented youngster. The number 12 has Sam Newman going all the way inside. That's beautifully done, but he misses the layup. Van Hanegen lost it. Harrison comes up with it. Flynn Boardman all the way. Beautiful
Great
recovery
hustle
there by Rory Winter, as Flynn Boardman, I think, was going for the dunk.
Yeah, I thought it looked like Sam Newman was going to flush it two-handed down the other end as well till somebody got a hand on it. But a great hustle from Rory Winter getting back there.
Ise for 3. Ise rattles one in.
Ross Norfolk throwing his head back in despair as Barking Abbey make another 3-pointer.
Gray going inside. Gray too strong on his attempt. Van Hanegem inside, and he's going to go to the line for 2. And Kane Van Hanegem has struggled a little bit inside, but has not really found a lot of joy either at the foul line. 0 for 6 so far.
I think Gray for Essex has really put some pressure onto Barking Abbey the last 4 or 5 possessions on penetration. He's almost looked a little bit out of control going in there, but managed to keep his feet, made some extra passes, and on that one, obviously, got a little bit of breathing room, got a shot up at the basket for Van Hanegem to get the rebound and try and put it back in. We'll see if he can keep it up.
Van Hanegem makes the free throw, and at last, Van Hanegem, who's actually had, apart from the scoring front, he's shooting just 2 for 7 from the field, but has 7 rebounds and 2 steals as well. So away from the scoring, has had a solid game from the Rebels as they put on a full court press here.
And we talked about it with Van Hanegem that the Rebels are a completely different team when he's not out there. They don't seem to have the defensive ability inside that they need. And especially against this Barking Abbey team that keeps putting pressure on them with offensive rebounds.
Absolutely. Rory Winter with the steal. Newman for 3. No good. Big rebound there from Gray, but Gray didn't find anything there. It's a scramble here inside. Everyone getting involved. And the referees have called a stop to that as a mini wrestling match was almost getting into play there.
I think we had about 6 players on the floor at one point.
That's something for the blooper reel. Of course, following on from this game, Solent Kestrel's Worthing Thunder due to tip off at 3 p.m. Of course, just before we started this third quarter, we went down memory lane and highlighted a few classic contests between the Kestrels and the Thunder. Newman, another 3. Short this time as the shot clock was winding down, and on the follow was Yassin Naji.
Essex definitely turned it up on the offensive glass this quarter, putting some of the same pressure that Barking Abbey put on them in the first half. Those extra possessions really causing Barking Abbey some problems. James.
Absolutely, and Okinola running into trouble there as Sam Newman getting his hands on the ball, but it will stay a Lions possession.
Yeah, not sure if Coach Norfolk just sensing a little bit of a change in momentum. He's up off his chair now, looking to encourage and mentor his troops.
Shot clock down to 4. On the turnaround was Harrison, no good. Gray with another big rebound. Such a small player, Jordan Gray really getting some hops going all the way and banking it home.
Nice move, Jordan Gray. Jason Harrison getting defensive position ahead of him, getting a hand on the ball. Gray maintaining his composure, managing to get the shot off and the 2.
Absolutely.
7-point game.
Exactly, yeah. Gray now moves on to 8 points, and it's a 7-point game all of a sudden. Maybe Ross Norfolk's halftime chat did have a way with the players as Eze goes all the way to the hoop and banks it home. Tough play there from Vernon Eze, who moves on to 14. Newman looks to respond, and he's going to go to the foul line for 2.
Yeah, on that last possession, Bournemouth Raffet saw a mismatch. Rebels recognised it, brought 2 players onto the post, and they swung the ball to Eze for who attacked the closeout. Really strong move to the basket. Great finish.
And Sam Newman makes the first, and Essex all of a sudden have brought it down, as you say, Jerry, to a single-digit game. It was a double-digit game for the early stages of this second half, but Essex finding their way back slowly but surely.
Yeah, they turned the energy up, haven't they? Dialed it up at the offensive end, started to knock down some shots. All of a sudden, the confidence starts to grow. A little bit of full court defensive pressure, and they're back in the game.
Uma for 2, and Uma is good with his 2-point attempt. He has 5 now. Tom Child, Essex really pushing the pace up here as Roy Winter blocked there by Boardman Raffet.
He's having another good game, hasn't he, Boardman Raffet?
Eze all the way, and he's going to go to the foul line for 2. Vibra, I think, wanted the ball from the baseline for the 3, but Eze going all the way.
Coach Veer looking for the unsportsmanlike call, not getting any joy out of that one.
Well, we have seen in recent seasons that referees are a little more happier to call those unsportsmanlike fouls, but nothing doing this time round as Sam Newman takes a deserved seat and Dan Morton comes into the game. Sam Newman leading all scorers, Jerry, right now with 15 points, but on 3 fouls.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much of a rest he's actually going to get here, because he's very much been the man behind the momentum, I feel. Him and Tom Child and Jordan Gray. Gray still in the game with his energy.
As Eze makes the second free throw as well, and BA London Lions now with an 11-point lead, that double-digit lead restored as Sean Sampson comes into the game, and Boardman Raffet takes a seat. Sean Sampson, who had a really productive first half with his shooting from outside. Gray out of control really with his attack to the basket, and here is Sampson for Barking Abbey. Eze driving at Morton, kicks it out. Sampson, his favourite spot, but it's off left, or off right, excuse me. And Tom Child will slow it down for the Rebels, or in fact will go all the way. Nagy looking for options, backs his man up. Here is Gray.
Really difficult for Essex to get clean passes away. Every time they drive in there and try to make the pass, deflected by Barking Abbey.
Eze for 3, short. And he couldn't keep it up in time, and it'll go to an Essex Rebels possession. Sorry, Ryan.
No, Eze is everywhere at the moment, seemingly. You almost kept that one in bounds, but trod on the line.
Of course, we're on the Basketball England YouTube channel, so always keep the comments coming as we look to make this an interactive engagement today. It's not just the game that's going on. Your opinions count, matter. Of course, Rebound Basketball blog really coming into his own with his statistics and facts and figures. Of course, he was the author of the starting 5, or the best 5 for last week in the L Lynch Trophy. Nagy. 3 on the way from Winter is good.
Yeah, that was much needed. They came up empty on a few possessions and really needed a basket to settle themselves down and keep themselves in touch and distance.
Viber looks to respond in kind and does. Caleb Viber from downtown. He has 9 points.
He was really active in the first half, and a steal there, deflected pass, and then he came across and took it away.
He's a lot of offense going through him right now. Here is Viber driving to the hoop. Finds Eze. I don't think he meant to find him, but finds him anyway. Is short. And here comes Child. It's 1-on-2 here at the moment. Child will go to the line for 2 as Harrison will be called for his 3rd foul.
James Veer not happy about that call, felt he was going backwards and maintained his verticality there, but it definitely looked like he cut across is it Child's path and blocked him on the way to the basket. It's one of those calls where the defensive player looks vertical, looks in good guarding position, but as an offensive player you want that call to be made. You're impeding my progress to the basket. I think if Coach Veer's shoe was on the other foot, he'd want that call made for one of his players.
Absolutely. And Tom Child, 2nd season with the Essex Rebels, averaged around 13 points a game in Division 2 last season. Team captain, makes both free throws.
Yeah. Jace Harrison going to the bench for Barking on 3 fouls. So, Adado and Harrison both on 3 for Barking. Sam Newman, as we mentioned, on 3 for Essex.
Eze Shot clock down to 5. Eze puts up a wild shot and it goes in. I think a bit of that came off Tom Child as well, who was contesting the floater.
Ethan Price back into the game for Essex, so
Absolutely,
it'll be
yeah.
interesting to see how that changes their offence at all.
Here is Price on the ball, back to Child. Winter inside to Price. He likes that spot, turnaround jumper, no good. Morton flying in for the rebound, but it will be a Barking Abbey possession, who lead by 11, final minute of this third quarter. And if you are James Veer, you would be happy with how Barking Abbey have played in this third quarter as well. Extended their lead to double digits, Jerry.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, basketball is a game of runs, as we know. And you know, Essex had their run to get back into single figures, and you know, then Abbey having a run back and trading baskets. Ethan Price getting to the bucket on that occasion.
Absolutely. We were talking about how we would be happy with James Veer's side. Then a turnover leads to an Ethan Price score at the other end.
Yeah.
Uma for 3.
And
No
James
good.
Veer really wasn't happy. He had Ethan Price guarding Eze, and he was calling for the clear out, and Eze just turned the ball over, gave up his dribble and turned the ball over, led to a wide open layup down the other end, and Veer was visibly frustrated on the sideline. Felt he had the mismatch. Eze playing pretty well, attacking off the dribble, wanted him to, thought he had the favourable matchup against a bigger, slower defender. And they passed it up and ended up turning the ball over.
Absolutely, and one of the comments on YouTube was asking for Vernon Eze's stats: 18 points, 5 for 15 from the field, 7 for 7 free throws, 5 rebounds as well, as Rory Winter with the lay-in in the final seconds of this third quarter. Good defense there from Tom
Essex managed to get it on
Child.
the break.
Vernon
Easy
Eze for
downtown.
3 is no good, and that ends the third quarter of this game. And Essex coming back into things slowly again. It was a double-digit lead in the final 2 minutes, but BA London Lions have been a little slack defensively, just allowing Essex to come into it, and now it's 61-54 to the Lions.
Yeah, 7-point game. Coach Norfolk at the end of this third quarter, letting his players just settle onto the bench and getting his thoughts together as he tries to complete the comeback in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, and one thing we've mentioned throughout this, throughout the day, is obviously both teams just getting into that rhythm, shaking off the rust. Of course, there's going to be a lot of turnovers in this game. Ryan, do you feel that this game especially will be decided from points from turnovers? Both of them BA London Lions have scored 14 points from turnovers. Yep. Essex on the flip side, 16.
Yeah, and you can see that when those, particularly the live ball turnovers happen, both teams are so good in transition that, it leads to runs, it builds confidence that, quite often they'll come down, get a wide open shot, and then possibly another turnover and a 3, and it just can break the game open for either team. And obviously Essex put a couple of, possessions together there where they're forcing bad possessions for Abbey. And then converting down the other end, it gets them back into the game. It'd be interesting to see which team, does the best job of looking after the ball in the fourth quarter, because I really feel like that's the team that's going to come out on top.
Absolutely. Well, Sam Newman still leading the way for Essex with 15. Vernon Eze, though, leading all scorers with 18 points. A few players, though, on 3 fouls. Sam Newman, the only player for the Essex Rebels on 3 fouls. Abadou and Harrison on 3 fouls for BA London Lions. Viber. Samson. Flawless passing from Barking Abbey at the moment. Blocked, though. Ethan Price blocking the 3-point attempt from Viber. Nice chase back there from Ethan Price.
Yeah, it was great defense by Winter, keeping the ball handler in front of him, forced the pass out, and there was no help required, so they were in great contest, position on the jump shot.
And Sean Samson is going to come out, and Flynn Borman-Raffett will come back into the game. Jerry, a player that's impressed you certainly throughout this L Lynch Trophy. The man on the ball right now for 3. Way short with his attempt.
Just about drawing a line on that occasion. Sort of commentator's curse, wasn't it? Yeah, he's had solid games. Both games we've seen him play. Really impressed. We've all sort of tried to do a bit of research before the L Lynch Trophy started into people's statistics and stuff like that, and not really able to find out a whole lot about the Barking Abbey players. But so coming into it, familiar with some of the guys who are on Easy and people like that. But Flynn Bourman, not somebody I was familiar with, and certainly made an impact.
Absolutely, and looking through the comments on social media, and I will get Veron Easy's name right now, I promise you. Owen Parker, a good friend of mine, good guy, and my apologies to everyone there. I hope I don't get any more comments now about that. But that's just the beauty of the interactive service that Basketball England games provide here on YouTube. We can look at the comments and we can correct anything that we might say. Hey, we're only human. We're only human. Inside, Nagy for two. That's a good pass from Sam Newman.
Yeah, and it was great execution. They got the mismatch, the matchup they wanted, moved the ball into the great passing position and found him wide open underneath the hoop.
Flynn Boardman, no good. And here is Rory Winter going all the way to the basket. Strong move.
Question how that's not a foul. I think Winter's still questioning how that's not a foul.
Open, Boardman Raffet for three, no good. Uma gets the offensive rebound, but a very strong pass to Harrison, who just about collects it as it was just about to go out of bounds. As the shot clock winds down, and on the follow, Uma, no good. Price with a big rebound.
And Essex just needed a quality possession there. The game's getting a little bit out of control, and they turned the ball over. Questionable pass along the sideline. Sam Newman unable to control it, just drilled it on the sideline.
Absolutely, and another comment asking for Caleb Viber's statistics. What a game he's actually had so far. Just 9 points, 3 for 6 shooting, 3 rebounds, and also 3 steals. A good game for the youngster here today.
Yeah, and just a 5 point game again.
Harrison putting the moves on Morton, short with his 2.
That's an opportunity now if Essex can get a good offense here to bring it even closer. Make it a 3-point game potentially.
Ethan Price going inside. Ethan Price will go to the line for 2, and that's one of the strengths that Ethan Price has. He has great handle for such a big man and is able to go to the line, draw contact, go to the line, or even score at the basket.
Yeah, it's not something we've seen so far. He's been getting into the post a lot, getting the ball, but not getting a lot of joy in the post. First time we've actually seen the lane clear out, and he's had the opportunity to try and get to the hole.
Absolutely, and throughout his time with Copleston High School in the EABL, one of his strengths, Ryan, was being able to drive to the basket at will, using his size to get to the hoop and finish strong. And even though he's finding it a little tough, you're seeing glimpses of that right now.
Yeah, certainly with that size, he's got the long steps that he can get past somebody's footwork and get himself to a clean position. He certainly did that on that occasion. Got the defender off balance and put him in a difficult situation to commit a foul, which hasn't really been called so far this game. There's been a lot of physicality on that, on that close to the basket that hasn't been called, but that one was.
Bourman and won the foul. Late call, but he still gets it to go.
And Essex clearly not happy about it, but you could see by the body movement that his leg, that Bourman Raffet's legs got taken out from under him as he went up. Great concentration to be able to finish.
It's rusty, don't worry. Yeah. It's pre-season. Flynn Bourman Raffet to the line for 2, and BA London Lions now leading by 5. So that was a timely bucket for Bourman Raffet. Here's Sam Newman into the game for the Rebels. Nice pass to find Ethan Price, but couldn't quite get hold of it. Harrison almost ran out of room. In fact, does run out of room. And it's another turnover.
It didn't actually look like he stepped out of bounds. It looked like he stayed in, but the referee obviously saw something that we didn't,
Absolutely.
or I didn't.
Either way, for the referees, he stepped on the line. That's the 16th turnover for the BA London Lions. Here's Gray for the Rebels. Gray getting his man in the air, kicks it out. And a three-pointer on the way is good. That's Dan Morton from downtown. And it's a two-point game all of a sudden. And an unlucky there shot from Okinola, but he still has the ball. And a whistle has gone. And it's going to go. It's a foul on... I think that's a foul on Jordan Gray, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they called it on Morton.
Or Morton.
I don't know where that call came from. It looked like he got pushed on the, on the loose ball foul.
Well, the statisticians are still having still trying to have a word here, trying to get, but it is on. Yeah, it is. It's on Dan Morton. Referee's just confirming it with the table officials. That's his second foul.
I'd love to have the benefit of a replay on that one, because that looked like a questionable call.
Yeah, I was just trying to catch it on the delayed, because obviously we're seeing the game live, and then the YouTube feed is slightly delayed. So I was just trying to see what actually happened on the YouTube feed, and yeah, I mean the referee's called it, so it's a foul. But
either way, it's a break for Essex, and it's a two-point game as Viber now called for his third foul. As Sam Newman was driving to the basket. No continuation on the layup, but it's a good opportunity now for Essex with 16 on the shot clock to tie the game up. And has a timeout been called? No, Veron Easy coming in.
Yeah, I guess, players are all rusty. We've been talking about it, haven't we? I guess the officials are allowed to be rusty as well. They haven't done anything to officiate for several months.
Sam Newman fading away, finds nothing but Jace Harrison. Veron Easy going all the way. Beautiful move. Banks it home.
Abbey definitely missing him while he's been on the bench.
20 points now for Easy. Price with the dunk.
With the two-handed flush.
That got you out of your seat there.
Absolutely. Whew. He can run the floor for a big man, that's for sure.
Veron Easy with a great score at one end. Ethan Price with the hammer at the other end. And Price with the steal. Here's Newman. Newman finds Nagy. Nagy going all the way. No good. That could have tied things up there. Here is Easy. And he slows it down, putting the moves on Price. The turnaround. Kicks it out. Viber for three.
Yeah, nice play, Veron Easy. Sucking the defense in. Kicking the ball out to the open man, who absolutely nails it. Nice offense, Barking.
And out of bounds again, this time Sam Newman stepping out of bounds. And a chance for the Lions to extend their lead now to 7 or 8 points. All of a sudden, it was a 2-point game, and now the chance for Abbey to just get that lead stretched again. Abidou goes all the way and scores and one. Tough play from Abadan Abidou, who's really had a quiet game by his standards. 7 points though, really coming into his own at both ends of the floor for the BA London Lions.
I really feel like he's done his work on the defensive end, particularly against Van Hanegem in the first half, keeping him quiet, challenging him, around the basket, and on that interior defense, he's been the linchpin of that interior defense for most of the game that we talked about. Obviously, sacrificing his offensive game to do what's needed for this Spark and Abbey team interior defense-wise.
Gray,
another great
showing
drive.
No fear, going inside, banks it home. Jordan Gray with 12.
How composed Bournemouth Rafa is, back that press down, made the right play.
A poor pass though from Eze, looking for Abidou. And here come the Essex Rebels again, stolen again. That man Viber. And Eze lost the ball, but Viber comes up with it. And they can just reset possession, 10 on the shot clock. Bournemouth Raffet looking to go it alone. Harrison finds some room, shot clock down, and Harrison knocks down the 3. Timeout called by Ross Norfolk.
Key point in the game, and Barking Abbey making all the big plays to keep themselves ahead and really put Essex Rebels on their heels.
But again, that whole offense started with a timely steal from Caleb Viber off the bench, has really come into his own and has 12 points, has been one of the standouts. If you discount Veron Eze's 20 points, been a real standout, Ryan, for the BA London Lions today.
Yeah, and Jerry was talking about it earlier in the first half of his rebounding. That was what really, really turned it on in the first half, was him crashing from the perimeter and getting those extra possessions for Barking Abbey. And then he makes a timely steal there against, I think it was Sam Newman, leads to a wide open 3. And they, knows themselves ahead again. And, he's been a big part of it.
Absolutely, 4 steals to go with those 12 points off the bench for Caleb Viber. And Essex, Jerry, who had the lead down to 2 at one point, now back down by 9 points. And as Ryan mentioned, all the big plays are coming from the team in black.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, their level of intensity has been something else, and they, it was to be expected at the start of the game. They've maintained it throughout the game. Great mental fitness and resilience from a young Barking Abbey team.
How will Essex respond? Gray. Here is Price. Child, shot clock down to 6. Kicks it out. Gray, open 3. No good. Rebound there by Abidou, and he goes all the way. Eze fakes his man, gets his own rebound, and scores.
Strong finish, and we talked about the resilience for this young team, but you've also got to say that it's a testament to Coach Veer, who's got them so prepared for this game.
Nagy blocked by Abidou.
Looked like he was fouled down low by Harrison, I believe. Got him on his left arm as he started to go up, and Abidou came across and blocked it at that point, but I think the foul was before.
Whistle came very quietly. Such is the noise from both the benches. We might be playing behind closed doors, but both benches are really making up for the lack of the fan interaction on the court with the noise they're making. It's really good to see the enthusiasm, but we're just happy to have basketball back. And for me, it's just great to be back commentating basketball. It's March the 7th, I believe, was the last game I commentated. So as Nagy misses the second free throw.
Well, we're very glad to have you here, Mr. Hobbs. I have to say, when we knew that this was going to be happening, and so we had the opportunity for it to go on the Basketball England YouTube channel and things like that. I know myself and Matt Bishop were talking, and your name was the first one that came up as to who we could possibly get to come and help us out. And great to have Ryan here with all of his technical knowledge and bringing all of his experience. That was the other thing we felt was important, was to have somebody, not only somebody to call the game, but somebody that's played it at a high level and able to bring that expertise.
Abidou driving inside and banks it home. What a period of play he's having. The number 7 now moves on to 10 points. And all of a sudden, the BA London Lions up by 12 with 2:34 remaining. Child inside to Price, and he lightly finishes with the dunk. Quietly, Ethan Price now with 12 points.
Yeah, that's always the sign of a good player, isn't it? Quietly go about
absolutely.
the game, and then all of a sudden you look at the...
And again, Abidou from the long 2, really showing his range and versatile shooting at both inside and out. And foul has been called as a risky move there from Sam Newman, trying to go in between 2 defenders, but a whistle has gone. 2:01 remaining, and that's 4 fouls on Abidou.
Who's really come alive the last couple of minutes at both ends. Really put his stamp on the game. And Sam Newman tried to split that screen there. There really wasn't enough space for him to get through. Was fortunate to get the foul call.
And again, another mispronunciation of the name. Apologies. It's pre-season. I'm only human. Sam Newman to the line with 2:01 remaining as Essex look to get themselves back into this.
Yeah, interesting to see Jack O'Keefe. He's always hot on his social media, so good to see him, the Solent Kestrel's assistant coach, getting stuck into the comments.
Apologies to him and to Joshua Gentry on the name. Inside it goes to Veron Easy. Easy puts up a shot. The shot clock winds down, but it's a shot clock violation. 1:36 remaining. Essex Rebels with a slight chance here.
He could almost have had the assist from that, couldn't he? Shot not drawing any iron. Unfortunately, shot clock expiring.
Inside
Sam
Newman lays
to
it
the
in.
reverse. Nice move.
Yes, single digits again. And here is Adedeu. Inside, nice pass, and that's beautifully finished off from Viber. Timeout, Ross Norfolk. Jack O'Keefe really getting active on our comments section. With 1:19 remaining, 82-72, and even Ryan Payne's trying to push in front of me here to get a look at the comments.
The young boys definitely getting the love, but
Does that
we're all
include
sort of struggling with
am I included in the young boys?
I know I'm definitely not.
Of course, following on from this game, Solent Kestrels and the Worthing Thunder will due to tip off at 3 o'clock. And I know that the Solent Kestrels are currently in the video room, just looking over some highlights. But
Or in Orland Jackman's case, playing Call of Duty.
So what we've seen over the last few weeks, we've seen Orland Jackman total disregard of the game tape, but instead playing some PlayStation. Well, why not? It's pre-season after all, I guess.
Whatever it takes to get you going, I guess.
And Orland Jackman really has, come into has really shone for the Solent Kestrels, adding that extra dimension to the team as if they needed any.
Yeah, he had a solid game last game. Looking to get increasingly sharp as we go through this pre-season, and I think everybody here at the club looking forward to seeing what he'll bring.
Really wild pass, but Flynn Boardman Haggett finds it and lays it in. Open 2 points for Flynn Boardman Raffet. And another timeout is called.
Yeah, Essex at the moment pressuring up the court, have given up 2 really easy baskets down the other end. They want to slow the Lions down, but they can't give up these uncontested layups out of the press. They're never going to get back into the game that way. Certainly not with just a minute left.
1:06 remaining, and the BA London Lions lead 84-74. Veron Easy with 22 points, leading all scorers. Sam Newman with 19. And of course, throughout the season, we'll look to get a fixture list sorted for our NBL live coverage. We will be no doubt having these 2 teams on our NBL live coverage at some point during the season. Price puts up a 3, way off, and it goes out of bounds, and it will be a Barking Abbey possession. Came off Tom Child.
And Rebels have been unfortunate a couple of times. They've got some deflections, and it just they never come away with possession, and that's kind of been the story of the game. That all the sort of fortunate bounces have gone Barking Abbey's way, but you make your own fortune in this game.
Absolutely, and another timeout called with 1:01 remaining. Neither team obviously giving this up. obviously both teams looking for their first win of this campaign. Essex Rebels 0 for 2. Barking Abbey lost their opening game against Solent, but unfortunately their game last week against Worthing Thunder falling victim to COVID, as the Barking Abbey team needed to self-isolate through that time.
Yeah, and interestingly, with a minute and a second to go, Lions with the 10-point lead, but they're actually in the penalty. So, Essex could, with a couple of quick scores and some fouls, if Barking Abbey aren't too smart about the way they play D, could quite easily get back into this game still.
Barking Abbey really taking their time. They're ahead by 10, 1:01 remaining. Essex really eager to get play underway.
Ethan Price matching up with Veronese, so potential full court D
full court
from
press, being played by Essex. Harrison beats it. Easy, and Flynn Boardman Raffit comes up with it inside Adeu. Eze going inside and scores, and that, you have to say, with 42.1 seconds left, is game. Tom Child, though, looking to answer. Sam Newman deep from 3, no good. And it goes out of bounds.
Essex, interesting. Essex opted not to foul on that possession. Tried to, play a full 24 seconds of defence and force a tough shot. They may need to rethink that strategy with 31 seconds left, make it a free throw game, stop the clock and see what they can come up with. But with all those timeouts used, you don't see a way back from into the game with so many, with a 12-point deficit. Yeah, so they're not even going to do it. They're just going to walk it out now.
They're slowing it down. There is still the shot clock to go. There's about a 7-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Borman Raffit sitting on 15 points with a big 3-pointer, but it's academic now. And 9.9 seconds remaining, and the Essex Rebels will dribble it out to end this game here in the L Lynch Trophy. So the second time of asking, the BA London Lions get their first win of the season. For the Essex Rebels, they end their campaign 0-3. As Veronese with 24 points, Flynn Borman Raffit with 15, and Caleb Viber off the bench with 14 for the Lions. Sam Newman with 19 points, and Jordan Gray with 10 for the Essex Rebels. Final word from you guys. Jerry, starting with you on this game.
Yeah, good game. Really impressed for Barking. Delighted that they've got a win. They've looked throughout this fixture like the better organised team, and certainly brought the energy. And there's some real talent there in that team for the future for sure.
And for me, I think the better team won on the day. They were the more consistent team throughout 40 minutes, and in my opinion had probably the two best players in the game as well. The most influential. So congratulations for Barking Abbey. Commiserations for Rebels. They didn't quite have enough on the day, but we'll be interested to see what they can come up with in their first outing in Division 1 as the season goes on. Absolutely,
and that ends our coverage of the first game here in the Solent bubble, and obviously to come, the Solent Kestrels and the Worthing Thunder due to tip off at around 3 o'clock. But congratulations to the BA London Lions, commiserations to the Essex Rebels. A great game to kick off our Sunday here at Solent University. I'm John Hobbs alongside Jerry Merrill and Ryan Payne. We'll be back for the Kestrels and the Thunder at 3 p.m. you.